So, after about 2 months on the road, I think unfortunately we were due for some kind of weird encounter. Kind of similar to Makayla's fear of breaking down in the middle of nowhere, my fear on this trip was having some encounter or some sort of issue with an individual that we did not want to have an encounter with in the first place. And after driving through California for hours as the place was pretty much burning down, unfortunately, at least in the location that we were or thought we wanted to be, unfortunately ended up not panning out too well. We had a pretty strange encounter with an extremely strange guy in an extremely strange place in the middle of nowhere. So let me roll the footage and then I'll do some explaining. What time is it?
9:50.
It's 9:50 p.m. and we're currently leaving a campsite that I was actually excited about. I was just posting about on my stories and stuff on Snapchat and Instagram. And now we are having to find somewhere to camp last minute. California. We'll explain on the road.
Okay.
Nah, there he is. That's the guy. I don't know if anybody could see that. I don't know where to go. Yeah, he's chilling right there. He's waiting at this area. Weird, extremely sus. Extremely sus, man.
Yeah, I don't feel... We just packed up and...
Yeah, we are out of here.
So what is in a red truck?
It's a red, like, Suburban. So we're in Carson City, Nevada now. We basically left our campsite and we've been driving. Makayla called probably 15
I've called a lot of
hotels. And yeah,
of all places, we're in Lake Tahoe on Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
So
So poor planning on our end, but also just not a lot of options for the dispersed stuff. Every dispersed camping place we went to in the summer turned into organized camping, first come, first serve. Bad timing, really, is what it is. So we're at the gas station because gas is only $4.64 here instead of like $5.64 to $6 in Colorado or California. And there's a Holiday Inn right behind it. We're gonna freaking hope if we just walk in there. Makayla even, you know, tried telling the story a little bit. We just had a weird experience, and you know, just hoping that they're holding their room, but we haven't had any luck. So let's hope that this works out. All right, good luck in there.
Vibes.
I really hope Makayla's coming out with good news. She thinks she might have called this one, so only time will tell. Honestly, these are the days, the nights where van life's just no bueno sometimes. Hold on, here comes Makayla, please. She doesn't look too happy. What's the bad news?
Got a list of a map.
Of hotels?
Yep.
Time to probably call all of these places. So nothing here.
Nope. He said what I can do is give you this map.
Quality Inn.
Hi, I'm just curious if you have any vacancy for this evening?
No, we don't.
Okay, thank you. Makayla's grabbing out cash in case we find a first come, first serve organized campground and there's a spot and we can drop money in the drop box. But I did just find on Seeker 25 minutes away or something like that. So we should get there a little bit after midnight, hoping that it's still like an actual dispersed campground area. I'm just tired. It's been a long day, very long day. I know Makayla's tired and I know she's definitely anxious and not enjoying this, so I mean, after a night like this, it's just... We have arrived, and actually it ended up working. There's a bunch of other people here, kind of reassuring. Almost at 107,000 miles because we've been driving around all over the place. So I think we're gonna go to bed and we'll explain what happened tomorrow. Well, as Makayla and I sat in the comfort of our newfound campsite to explain to you guys what had happened that night, of course, it was extremely windy. So let's wind some things back. That morning we had woken up from the Lassen National Forest, and we visited Lassen Volcanic National Park. We took the day easy, we took the day slow. We knew that we wanted to head towards Lake Tahoe to spend the tail end of Labor Day weekend in the Lake Tahoe area. Makayla had booked a campground for 2 nights, but it wasn't for the following night, so we had 1 night to kind of burn. And we got on Seeker, which is the app that we usually use to find our campsites. It's been relatively well and has worked out, I would say, about 75% of the time overall. In California, I'd say about 20% of the time, unfortunately. But we had found this spot on Seeker, and it did mention that there was trash in the spots. That's something we acknowledged, and it was quite obvious as soon as we got there. There was like oil filters and used engine oil and just crap everywhere. It was kind of a shame, but we were the only ones there, so we were pretty excited about that. And as the night went on, Makayla and I basically were just hanging out, setting up our generator, and we were actually about to watch everybody's Sunday premieres and just chill out. But that's when shit got weird. Okay, the creepy guy that I had gotten a little bit of video of in the red Chevy Tahoe. Let's get back to that in a second. I'm going to use this little animation here to describe kind of what happened that night. So Makayla and I were camping in Bertha right about here off of North Red Rock Road. If we zoom out, you can see it's kind of in the middle of nowhere off of 395, and it leads you into Nevada, literally in the middle of nowhere. Well, that night we were set up, excited to be there. I flew the drone a little bit. Makayla and I were running the generator, hanging out, letting our things charge, keeping the things that were in our cooler nice and cold, and overall just about to watch everybody's Sunday premiere. So I personally never like being inside the van when the generator is running, because my thing is I always need an ear to be able to hear what's going on, especially if we're like in the middle of nowhere and the only ones around. You just never know who or what is around. So we're gonna use this animation for the weird guy. So basically around 9:45 p.m. he came flying down North Red Rock Road, slammed on his brakes, and turned around right in our spot. So I thought, okay, maybe this guy's just camping. It was a little weird that he came to a sudden stop, and our generator has a really bright green light on it. Anyway, he drove across the road, turned around, and then waited for about 10 to 15 minutes with his headlights off. That's when my, head was coming up with every scenario possible. He then drove across the street and came over to Makayla and I, and that's when he stopped right here and had asked me, "You got a cigarette?" And that's when I instantly was like, okay, something weird is going on here. And I said, "No, I don't have a cigarette." And basically then he asked me how I was enjoying my time out there, and I said, "It's great." It was just really odd. And then he slowly drove around our van one last time before yelling, "I'm stoned," and then getting back on North Red Rock Road and taking off down the road. So I'm really glad Makayla and I stuck with our guts and got the heck out of there. Something just did not feel right. Just the fact this guy pulled in, stopped immediately as soon as he basically saw that somebody was there. And as soon as I looked out the window, that's when he crossed the street, turned around, cut off his headlights, and just waited. It just really did not leave me feeling very comfortable, and I was very unsettled with the idea of what this guy was thinking. And then when he approached me and asked me for a cigarette, that's when I knew it was just really odd. I wasn't outside smoking. I did exit the van as soon as I saw him coming by, because every scenario in my head was telling me this could go extremely wrong. So Makayla and I were on the same page. As soon as he left after telling me he was stoned and then flying down the street, we packed up Bertha faster than we ever have before and got the heck out of there. And that's when we passed him on the side of the road. And the fact that we saw him there with his headlights off really left me feeling unsettled. Makayla and I were both extremely glad that we left, because this could have went completely south. I don't know if this guy was planning on coming back to try to get the generator, or even worse, potentially harm one of us. So I'm glad that we stuck with our guts, and this was our sketchiest campsite yet.